Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Alex, the Comic Hoarder. Thank you so much for clicking play on this video. I follow on Facebook a local auction house, and from time to time they have comic books. And so I saw this picture and I was immediately honed in on one specific comic book. And I don't know if you guys can tell which one it is or what the comic book or what the significance of it is, but it's a $400 comic book in that condition as it sits. So in that pile of comic books right there, there is a $400 comic book. So I knew I needed to put it on my calendar and be at that auction. That auction was yesterday. I'll show you guys some footage and some pictures of the auction, and then we'll come back afterwards and show you guys what I was able to walk away with. Hopefully you guys are excited for this one. Here we go. This video is sponsored by the Shortbox app. It's the easiest and safest way to buy and sell raw and graded books online. There's a link in the description below to download the app for both Apple and Android users. Download that app using the link and start shopping or selling today. All right, this is a super small town in Northeast Missouri. The red brick building is the auction house. I'm trying to be extremely discreet in filming in here. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about, you know, there's a ton of people, there's seats, there's tons of tables of all sorts of goodies. They actually had tons of stuff I was interested in, but the bidding went hot and I was saving all my resources for the comic books. Once again, just trying to be discreet in there. Would always start and end pointed down so people didn't realize that I was recording. This one I did get a couple people in the shot, so please ignore all the folks in the shot, but just trying to get a scan of the room and a scan of all these little tables, and I guess they would call them flats, those flats on those tables which contain stuff. That's the second room with the comic books. This was in one of the flats. It's the Thundercats figure with the He-Man figure in the back. And then a flat in the other room had a Star Wars figure. And then this is the only N64 game I saw. This was the comic book table. So they had this Young Romance. Drashears would be so proud of me for looking at that and considering it. And then here's the footage of what I was seeing. So this is Betty and Veronica number 40. I've had that comic book before, but I let it go for way too cheap and way too early. And I just knew that I wanted that one. So I actually put that other comic over top of it so that it would be a little bit more discreet. Thunder Action, lots of just great comic books. These auctions are so fun because it is just the Wild West out there, and you never know if there's going to be a super knowledgeable comic collector or if there's just going to be people who are out for a good opportunity to maybe buy and sell, or if there are people who are just casually buying for, you know, a loved one or something. Oh, I know, you know, like my brother likes comic books, or my wife really likes these Archie comic books. So you never know who you're going to encounter. I was just, you know, really standing by the comic book table, noticing anyone who would look at the comics or whatever, kind of measuring up. And I didn't see the older guy this time who was really knowledgeable about comics, or at least thought he's knowledgeable about comics. I didn't see him this time. They had to sell everything out of that first room where you saw all those people in the tables before they got to the second room, which had the comic books in them. So I got there at 4 o'clock and I had to wait all the way till 7 till they even got in that second room. But they knew that I was there for the comic books because I kept asking about them. What was great about that was as soon as they got into the second room, that's the first thing they sold. So I really did appreciate that. So everyone from room number 1 went into room number 2, and I just knew that there was nobody in there that was really interested in the comic books. There was one husband and wife standing to my right, and we were looking at the table right in front of us. So they were standing to my right, and she'd whispered, you know, I want some of those Archies. So he was going to bid. The first thing that they do, the whole table's right there. They'll say choice. This is for individual choice. So whatever you bid it up to, you could bid it up to $100, and every single book you choose would be $100 for that time. So they bid it up, or we started bidding at $5. $5, do I have 6? So the first person to raise their hand, it'd be $6 a book. So I raised my hand. I was like, I'm getting a book. I didn't care how high it went. No one bid. No one bid because nobody wanted to pay $6 for an individual comic book. So I was like, I have expressed this crazy interest in these comic books. I was thinking to myself, I can't just pick one comic book. So I picked 3 comic books out for $18, and I picked Weird Mystery Tales number 10. Cool underwater cover. Love this. This is crazy. Great green cover. Young Romance, $184. Drashear would be so proud of me. And I picked the book that I'll show at the very end. It was the one that I went in there for. Okay, so then next up, we started bidding again, and it was for $6 again, and I picked 4 comic books. And I think I picked out a couple more of the older ones. So I picked out like Betty and Veronica 38. Nice older Betty and Veronica. I think that one goes for a lot. I picked out Betty and Veronica number 80. Archie's Joke Book 23. Really neat. On the green couch. Betty and Veronica. And he says, I'm going over to kiss Veronica. Oh, missed the opportunity, buddy. Betty and Veronica 57. Hopefully there's a comp on the screen for everybody on that as well. And those were the ones I picked. And then, as you saw, they were in like rows or columns. And they said, okay, anyone else interested for a comic book for $6? Nobody said anything. So this is when the guy and I were like bidding against each other. We bid it up to $26 and there was 3 rows left. So I got everything, all the rest of it for like $78, $120 total. So I'm going to show you guys everything that I got. I'll just kind of run through these and we'll talk about the last book at the very end. Betty and Veronica, Summer Fun, number 34. Betty and Veronica 201, Archie Books. Betty and Veronica 214. Betty and Veronica, Summer Fun 187. Betty and Me, number 61, Archie 239, Everything's Archie 52, Archie 213. I think this is one of the ones that I picked out earlier, like when it was just the 4 comic books. Archie's Jokes, number 17, Archie's Joke Book, Superboy and Legion of Superheroes 200, 209. Some really low grade condition ones as well. Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, 110. Really, this is definitely the worst condition of them all. 107. All-Star Comics, number 64. Justice League, number 110. Reggie and Me, 49. Jughead, number 245. Wonder Woman, also low grade. This is the final issue in that first volume 1, 329, and then like the John Byrne stuff started. Pep 317. Josie and the Pussycats, also low grade with the spine roll, 70. Betty and Veronica Summer Fun 212. Anytime Betty and Veronica are in a swimsuit, something that you should probably look up, because sometimes, or if there's an innuendo on the cover, 248. Sometimes they just go for crazy money. Betty and Veronica Spectacular 201. Weird Worlds, 2 copies of that. This one is what I believe is a Frank Frazetta cover swipe or cover homage. Weird Worlds, number 3. Frank Frazetta cover homage. Tarzan, number 241. Jungle Action 4. Jungle Action 5 is where Black Panther starts. Sheena, number 1. House of Mystery, number 186. This may be a Neil Adams cover. I'm not quite sure. It may be a Neil Adams cover. Chilling Adventures in Sorcery, number 3. Dark Mansion 11. And then The Mighty Isis, number 2. And the main reason why I went there was for Betty and Veronica, number 40. It's a book that I've had before and really, really pairs well with Archie 50. And this one is just a spectacular, spectacular book. It's the Mousetrap innuendo book. And it's well sought after. Like if you look on Key Collector, issue number 1 of Betty and Veronica is a key. And then the next one is Betty and Veronica 4. And this one in mid-grade is worth more than Betty and Veronica number 1 from the Golden Age. So this one is incredible. And this one is in pretty good condition. As it sits, I would grade this a 4.5 to 5. But it may be higher. It may be 5.5, 6.0, which would be great. I'm definitely going to at some point send this one off to get graded, because in graded condition, this could be a $500 to $800 book, just depending on the grade. But really, really happy with that. Here's the comps that you can see, recent sold for this book, and why I went there. And I'm pretty sure I got this for $6. But with the other comic books not being worth very much in total, I would say I'm $120 in. The rest of it's gravy. Some of those other Betty and Veronica's are worth a little bit of money as well, but this one is definitely the reason why I went. And the only comic book that I even wanted, but I just didn't want to let the other ones pass up, so I bought those as well. $120 spent, and I got this gem in my collection again. So happy to have this one. Collecto6 would always talk to me about getting another copy or upgrading his copy, and I was like, man, that ship has kind of passed for me because it's too much now for me to get that one. But this is why you need to know a little bit about everything in comic books. If you know that this Betty and Veronica 40 is a key issue, then you'll be in a good spot. If you know Archie 50 is a key issue, that's one that you definitely want. So happy that I got this one. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you've been to auctions before, what you thought about this auction. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you're brand new to the channel, hit that subscription button, hit that bell to be notified when there's future videos, and I will talk to you all on the next one. See you, bye.